Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy B Starks on the Starks Podcast. We got a special guest here today. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss this. Hey, what up, world? This is your boy B Starks here on the Starks Technology Services on the Starks Podcast today. And we got a special treat for you. I'll introduce my guest in a moment, but I want to say shout out to my man, Dream with Dream Motivates. How you doing, man?
Look at you, man. I see you. Listen, I'm just a co-pilot, brother.
You just a co-pilot?
Just sitting here watching greatness.
Yeah, so we switching things up today, but today is a special day. So in the past, we talked about students. We talked about the things that Starks Technology Services is up to. We've had family. We've had friends. We had classmates. We had students. But now we get a chance to see some partnerships. So I want to introduce my very special guest today, dear friend of mine, Lori Thomas with Ecco Select. How you doing, Lori?
Hey, I'm doing great, Brian. Thanks for having me on.
AKA the money lady.
The money lady.
That's what we're going to call it.
That's where we're going. That's the goal. That's the dream.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, in the classes that we do 3 times a week, Lori and I met earlier this year, and she has been phenomenal. But Lori is experiences with staffing. So she's with IT staffing, and she's got a lot of experience, and I'll let her talk about it here in a second. But the most intriguing thing about it is Lori comes into our classes. So when you join Starks Technology Services and you come to the classes, Lori pops in, and then she gives you information that can help you. So she's doing a lot of our staffing to try to help you guys, along with other students, get opportunities. She helps with your resumes. Then we get you the bag. So Lori, talk through us about, what you've been doing, how long you've been doing it. Let the people know who you are, what it is you've been up to, and how long you've been doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again for having me today. My name is Lori Thomas. I work for Ecco Select. We're out of Kansas City, Missouri. We are a woman minority-owned small business, which opens up a lot of opportunities for us because we do government work and commercial work. We provide contract to hire, and perm placement services, as well as project-based solutions. We are partnering with companies like Brian, like Starks Consulting, to work on different contracts that require staffing needs. Very excited about the opportunity and think there could be a lot of success with these partnerships. Brian has been absolutely wonderful to work with by letting me help people in his class to provide them with help with resumes, to look at the different avenues of helping them get jobs once they've been certified or gone through the educational process. And that's what we're here to do, is to help people. We want to be successful, but we also want to make sure that we help others be successful as well. And I think we can do that through Starks Consulting. And I know we have several projects that we're looking into that if they win or when they win, that we will be able to help staff and then be able to help people in his network and his classes to get jobs, and whether they want to change industries or they're just looking for a new place to land. So hopefully that gives a little bit of insight to what we do. So we also do a lot of government work. So the top security clearance, DOD, USDA, things like that that have opportunity for security consultants at this point in time.
Right, absolutely. And if many of you didn't know, there's a huge, massive hire in cybersecurity, as we talked about previously on other podcasts. Last month, I think we talked about Dream. We had like 8 or 9 attacks.
Yeah.
We just recently had a couple of attacks here recently, and then the big one that most of you know that we talked about it before United Healthcare had a tragedy, but behind that tragedy, it was all based on a cybersecurity attack. So right now with the government space and the DoD has mandated all of its prime and subcontractors that they have to get a cybersecurity maturity model certification or aka CMMC. If they do not, they totally get shut off of government contracts. Period. So that is one of the reasons why other than the personal, we just had a real great connection and synergy with Lori and Ecco Select. Shout out to Ecco Select. Mike Waltz, shout out to him. I know he's going to love that. But the thing about it is so important on all avenues. And that's why we've partnered up with Ecco Select, with the staffing, so that we can not only grow our networks on both ends from a staffing and a cybersecurity training perspective, but most importantly, it's building the network. It's building relationships with great people, and that's what we want. We don't want to do business with people that are just in it for the money, because the money's going to come.
Yeah.
But we want to do business with great people like Lori and like her company, so that we can help the people. So because we're going into a financial crisis here. Let's face it. This is a trying times for us all. So Dream, I'm gonna send it over to you. You may have some questions.
I definitely. So before today, I think I've heard the name Lori 42 times. You know what I'm saying? So it's a pleasure to finally meet you and your
Yes.
greatness. Thank you
You
for
too.
your time again.
Same here.
Definitely. And so for the viewers and for the people who don't understand how powerful you being here is, I want to kind of just lay it up and just verify, your whole being and what you do exactly. So once they come through Start Technology Services for the classes and the opportunities, once they get there, now that you got your certificate, now that you're ready, you could go out and go find a job yourself. But the beauty of the Starks podcast and the procedures and the classes is that now we have placement for you to go ahead and get them a job. And I've heard some of these jobs. This is what I want to hear from you. What are these jobs starting out as for people when they first come in? What have you seen that you've been able to get people as far as salary wise?
Yes. One, I forgot to mention that I've been doing this for 25 years. So I've seen so much. I've seen the ups and downs. And as far as salaries, it just depends on how the economy's going. If you don't have much experience, you could come in as low as 50K or 60. If you got a little experience under your belt, it could raise as you go. The more experience you have, the more money you're going to make. But cybersecurity right now is so hot that people will pay for that, the certs, and for people's background. So if I've told my nephew this, he's about to graduate college. I said, if I was going to choose something to go into, it would be security.
Yeah.
Because everybody needs it. They need it forever. Hackers are getting more and more advanced. They're going to need security. That is going to be one of the top things. So I would say starting out with no experience at all, maybe as a security admin or something like that, would be, you're looking at maybe 50, 60, maybe 60K to start. But as you get more experience under your belt and you start learning and educating yourself and getting that hands-on experience, I think the sky's the limit. I really do.
What's
with
the
security.
biggest account you've landed for somebody? Because I've heard, and I'll never forget, I literally, when I heard this, that was it for me. I was like, okay, whatever we got to do to help people out to do that. Because I've seen people that came through his classes starting at 75, 80, 85,000. I
That's
think
better.
he got somebody at Tesla, I think at 90, 95,000.
Yeah, she was Dose. I never will forget her. She was an online student.
That's awesome.
And Tesla contacted me for a referral. They wanted to confirm, of her credentials. So she was hounding me, and then I said, okay, I'll go ahead and do it. The next day, she emailed me and stated Tesla started her off, I believe, at 85,000
With no experience?
with no experience.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And
So-
I do think it also depends on the company that you're dealing with. If it's, a lot of times if you're working with a giant organization like Google, maybe not Google, but let's say Bank of America,
Yeah.
they always pay more.
Yeah.
Then you work with other companies, and they may not have that kind of range. So I would agree. I haven't seen somebody start with zero experience start at that high, so that's amazing.
Yeah.
But that just shows you the importance of security in today's world. I mean,
Yeah.
they somebody that's smart, that's gone through the training, they're educated, they're coming out, so they're ready to go, they're hungry. They'll pay for that. You know, sometimes you have people that have been in it a long time and they just go through the motions and they don't have that fierce, like, hey, I'm hungry, I want to learn more, I want to do more. So people are looking, or companies are looking for younger people that have those abilities and the skill sets. So,
Yeah, and I remember just when now I'm starting to research businesses, Fortune 500 companies, small companies, big companies, medium sized companies, and the importance of cyber technology and the security behind it, based on what B Starks has taught me in a short frame of time. I think what you said was right. The more advanced technology is with AI and everything else, the more that companies are like, yo, I need somebody good that knows exactly what they're doing. And I think they're paying the bigger. I think so. I think it's just adjusting to the times right now because it's looking like 75. So I did research, like a good person's coming out of a class that teaches like your class. What would it pay? And it was 85, 90. I seen two at 115,000.
Right.
wow,
Yeah.
that's okay. So that's a little bit of education for me, because typically with a little less experience or no experience,
Right.
typically they start out a little bit lower than that. But that just kind of tells you, again, it tells you the importance of it. But that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's good to know these things, and I just really want to be able to help people. Brian has been just an amazing person, amazing friend, and he's always out to try to help people and better people and educate people. And I, in Echo, really want to be a part of that.
Right.
We really do. It's not just about, hey, we're all going to make money, but it's helping others make money. It's helping others become educated. It's helping people find jobs that need help. It's helping people adjust their resume so their skills pop out
Right.
more.
Right.
Because I've talked to people, that they are the most wonderful people, and they tell me everything about what they've done, and then you look at their resume and you're like, well, I need that to pop out,
Yeah.
so
Right.
when people see it.
Yeah.
So that's something that we do. We kind of look at trends. We try to help out there, but I will help anybody. They send me their resume. I'm happy to go over it, and I look at a bunch of resumes every day because that's what I do. I can tell, like, okay, this is what I look for. This is how long I will look. I'm not going to look at a 10-page resume. I'm going to look
Right.
at the first 3 pages or so,
Yeah.
three, maybe four, and get educating people on that, how to get their resume out, how for companies to be able to see what they do, and it's poking out where they can see it, right, because they're getting tons and tons of resumes, especially if you pick a giant bank, a Citibank, or even a Bank of America. Any of those, they're getting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of resumes, so it's got to pop. Also, I think a really important piece for people looking is LinkedIn. I really do. I'm shout out to them. A lot of recruiters use that, and those keywords that are on people's resume, they'll find people through LinkedIn. So it's important to make sure your LinkedIn is updated and it's got the full information on it, because that's what people use a lot in the industry. And I'm very willing to help people in that capacity as well. I was helped by another company that said, okay, this doesn't look as strong as it should. Here's an example of what I think would make your resume or your profile stand out more. And so I think everybody could use a little bit of help there. So not only do we work with companies like Starks Consulting, I have a lot of different clients, and we have recruiters. We have recruiters that talk to the different candidates and people that are coming out of classes like Brian's and getting certifications and really vet them, go over the jobs with them, and try to put them in the right environment for them. Because there's some companies that they want you to jump right in and you've got to know everything and here's a giant project. And there's some that are willing to take people in that are hungry and want to work with them and teach things their way. So they'll work their way up through the system. So I have lots of different clients. I have many, many, many different relationships through networking. And I'm very fortunate to find this relationship, and it's going to be a tremendous partnership. So that's kind of how it works. You asked me is typically we will get candidates either send their resumes or we have a job opening and we post it somewhere, and then people will apply to that. Or if they know me, like Brian will send somebody's resume to me, I'll contact them, we'll speak with them and try to help them as much as we can. But that's kind of what we do. That goes to the recruiter. They vet them technically. Then typically I will always talk to them and make sure, like, hey, do they fit within your environment? Do they have good presentation skills? Because some people really require that. Do they communicate well? So all these things are important things to know when you're interviewing and talking to people. And then what we do is we send over a few resumes. We don't overload the hiring managers. Send them about 3 and let them choose. And I feel like we send over quality people because we take time to qualify people and spend time talking to them, not just sling resumes over. And that helps me build trust within my relationships and my network to get more business. And that, therefore, we can help more people.
Yep. So one of the things that I'll share, and I don't think we've talked about this before, is when you come onto the classes and people are super, like the feedback is ridiculous. Oh my God. If you notice, every time you've come into classes, there's more and more people. So here recently, we had about 3 students. They were like, oh, yeah, Lori, we're definitely going to be reaching out to you. And you probably had about 5 total reach out. But one of the things that I try to do, and we've never talked about this either, so this will be new for the both of you, is that we created what's called an IT career prep. So we vet the students based on their interaction in the classroom, based on their knowledge. And what we basically do is we say, hey, send over your resume. So we try to prep them ready so that you don't have to necessarily weed them out. So we try to make your job a little bit easier.
Thank you.
And then also, in addition, teaching them, okay, this is what you're going to be looking for when you submit your resume. This is what the recruiter is going to be asking you. This is exactly what, hiring. We even take them through like what is it called? A structured interview, a pre-structured interview.
That's awesome.
So we literally just had a class. And I was trying to get you in one of those classes, but I think you had some things going on with your kids.
I got twin daughters that are in every sport imaginable that I'm running.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's some of the things that we're doing consistently. And now that we've got our placement, we've got our partnership with CompTIA. Shout out to CompTIA, the world's leading certification proctor in the world. So now we've got that partnership with them, and now we can get them more ready. So then by the time they get to you, they'll already be a product of the tree of Starks Technology Services.
Yeah, Laura, you've been in this industry for the staffing for 20 years,
20
or
plus
it's just
years.
staffing period, or the cyber technology part?
I think that encompasses IT. We don't separate like project management or cybersecurity from IT. It's kind of we.
So
lump it
you do
in.
other type of staffing?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So we obviously security is a big thing. Got a lot of relationships around that, but we also do project management, business analyst, lots of data analytics, BI. Data is just huge right now. And it kind of links in a little bit with security. We're doing a enterprise observability. We have a practice around that weeds out vulnerabilities, and so it kind of goes hand in hand with security. But at the same time, we also do, you name anything technical you can throw away. DevOps engineers, network engineers. There's just a multitude of different things. Servers, Windows. we also at our company can do projects around those. The different we may do. We're looking into a Windows migration from 10 to 11 with one of mine. So we also are looking. That same client is looking for some SecOps, and so it can lead. It's the more networking you do, the more relationships you have, the more things are popping up. And just over the last couple of days, speaking with Brian, I mean, my eyes were like this big, looking at some of the contracts he has in place or potential with, and just how much we can help Starks Consulting and be a great addition to an already great company that has a lot to offer. I think this is a good arm that can add some, can be very beneficial
Absolutely.
to everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things that we've talked about on previous podcasts is we've been negotiating contracts. So Lori and I recently had a conversation, and we're thinking bigger picture, long term, and that longevity is more about sustainability. So I sent over some documents. Did you get a chance to take a look at those?
I hate to say this, I have not yet
It's
because I'm
okay.
cramming everything
Yeah.
into Christmas time.
Right.
And the travel and the PTO, but I have it in my inbox and I plan on reviewing all of it today. Mike Wassel that you talked about, he has reviewed them, and
Yeah.
Echo is just super excited for this opportunity.
Right.
Are we
And
gonna have to fly to Kansas City?
Hey, we might. I'm down.
When
Mike.
last time you
Mike.
been- what's it to do in Kansas City, Laura?
there's a lot to do in Kansas City. We went
Besides
to
watching the Chiefs.
Well, I
Proud
was
of
gonna
you.
say I went to several Chiefs games, and they have this. I don't know what it's called because I'm not there very often, but they have this awesome downtown area that's really cool. It's like a nice square. It's got lots of little shops and restaurants and little bars. It's quaint. It's like a kind of a. It's not a giant city, but there's lots to do. I know there's a big train station type thing. I can't remember. Sorry, exactly what's. But I know that it's got cool little niche shops. And so when
Yeah.
you go down, there's cool shopping and cool bars. And of course, the Taylor Swift and, Travis Kelsey thing, it's everywhere there. It's madness. So it's a great little town, but I think I can say this. I did work for a company called Midwest Consulting Group for 14 years. And in September of 2023, Ecco Select purchased us
They
to
acquired.
get the Dallas presence, because they've been in Kansas City for.
Wow.
So that's why they bought us, and we're trying to expand
Yeah.
our network here and with the different things that they can support. Where before it was just basically staff aug. Here we can do project solutions. We can do, a data dog practice. We can do obviously staff augmentation and perm placement. And I'm really liking some of the things you're throwing out there about prepping people for interviews and,
absolutely.
getting their resumes ready. So, I think all those could be things we could add into our process as well. I think you can always learn. I
Yeah.
think there's always stuff. You don't know everything. And partnering with Brian just makes my brain go, oh, I hadn't thought of that in a bit. Oh, that might be
Yeah.
a kind of a cool idea.
Yeah.
And, even with Dream being in marketing, I mean, we do marketing as well. So we not only do technical, which it is our core business, but we have clients that have content managers and marketing managers and HR and just all the different things. Risk and compliance is a piece of security. I've got several of those going on right now. So we do accounting and finance, but again, core business is going to be security and technology.
I love it. I love it. Shout out to Mike again. Definitely gonna have to come to Kansas City. Hey man, definitely want to catch one of them games with you, dog.
Yeah, man.
But this thing right here, and I appreciate this more than anything, Laura, that you coming in on the podcast, because I teach people all the time. IT is not my field, and cyber technology is not my field. Learning from this amazing genius brother right here is teaching me a lot through that. But marketing has been all my life, so I used to throw parties for a living. And
Great. That would be so fun.
yeah, and to me, everybody's business is their party. And if you don't invite anybody to your party, nobody's coming.
Mm.
That
You know
is
what I'm saying?
yeah.
So it just kind of ties in. But within this, Mike, and other companies that are looking, podcasts are the biggest hack right now, because when it comes to customer acquisition, this somebody's listening to this and they're seeing, and they're like, "Yo, I didn't know." They're tired of their job. They want a new career. Now they can come through a funnel of some amazing education, and not only get that, but actually get a job through the whole system.
Through the whole
Yep.
system.
But
That's what
to
we're here for.
exactly, but
Help ya.
this hits different than a billboard or a little post. You actually become through the lens of somebody that's looking at their phone, which we all look at every single day, and they get to see you in real time, real reality, and say, "Wow, she actually has been doing this for 2 decades and been holding it down and still kicking it, and loving what she does. Obviously, if you're still doing it." So I'm excited. So a lot of companies are coming to Dallas, and we
Yeah.
just end up being placed at the right place at the right time with the right people.
Right.
And what I think too is on the other side is this gives clients that, as we build our network, potential clients or companies that are looking for our services that are now spread across different, this gives them an opportunity to see what we have to offer, because every day can be a little bit of a grind in sales, because they are getting all these companies are getting hit up by not only staffing companies, but you name it, security companies,
Yep.
hardware, software, you name it. So this kind of gives them an opportunity to see what we have to offer, and
Right.
then turn around and come to us, where it makes it a little bit easier to make those connections than it is for me to be beating the streets and
Yeah.
they look at me as just any other company.
Right.
Yeah, it's called law of attraction marketing. You attract what you want, so you're looking for people that's looking for you.
Absolutely.
So for them to look for you, they could see you. I'm just I can't. My brain. So you probably got a different type of brain. My brain, I can't imagine opening up, waking up, and then like how he does it, open up my email, and I got 400 resumes to look at. I don't even know how you do it. Versus for me, I would be like, and I may or may not get the job. I don't know, but I would put a video together, and I'd be like, hey, damn all them resumes. This is me. All right, I do this, but at least you can get my personality. I don't know if that would work, but shout out to LinkedIn and shout out to people that's doing it the traditional way. But I think I wondered for you, like, would that break up the monotony for you right now? Would you love to see something like that, or are you like, yeah, I gotta stay standard?
You know what I think? There's a thing we use that we give a candidate questions to ask so they can get on video and answer those questions.
Okay.
But what I don't like about it is that you don't get to see their personality. You give them the questions, they get like 1 minute to
know it.
1 minute to answer the question,
know it.
and then it goes to the very next one. So I would like to say I'm on the other side or the recruiter's on the other side. They ask those questions and then it's videoed. And if it's a little bit longer than 4 minutes, then so be it. If you have decent, relationships and you're able to send over videos, because sometimes they get flagged whenever
Right.
you send them through, security will flag them and they'll go to spam.
Oh, really?
Yes, unless
Wow.
they're expecting it. So, like for me, I won't send attachments unless I ask first, because a lot of times they'll ping them right over their spam. But yeah, I 100% agree. I had one of Brian's classmates or class people in their class talk to me just yesterday about her resume, and I looked at it and I thought, I don't know if this doesn't really look like IT to me. And I had a conversation with her. She was just an amazing, polished, just well-spoken person that just didn't have all the right information on there. So it's just, once I talk to people, I can sell them better,
So, man, that is so
Yeah.
key what you just said.
Yeah.
Because you know what that is? Oh, man, this is good. This is good. I have a company called the Reset Program. So I build homes,
Okay.
and my wife's a realtor. And I never forget. I had a friend of mine. She was crying on the phone because she submitted a loan for her home. Now, I talked to her 9 months ago. I forgot I even talked to her.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, yeah, but I said, but call me first before you submit anything. She skipped the process. She skipped all that. She heard a little bit, but she didn't finish none of the process. She didn't call me back. Then after you go through all that, then now you call me. Now I gotta be there. I gotta get the broom, the mop, and clean up on aisle 7. You done all
Right.
messed up everything. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
All you would have to do is call me first, because we know what the client or the banks are looking for to hire, and we can
That's
help you
correct.
get to the door. Is that what you're saying?
I am, and I've been guilty of looking at resumes before and saying it, because I get a lot of resumes, like you said. I get a
Yeah.
ton, and you got other things you're doing during the day, so you're trying to separate the resumes. That's why I gave the advice to get things to pop. But the recruiter or the person calls me and they say, look, you really need to talk to this person. They're very good, they're polished, and they have this. I just didn't have it on there. Then I always will go through that, and I will always talk to people, because I feel like that's what part of my job is.
Yeah.
You can't sell somebody that you haven't spoken to. So if my client asks me, just last night we had dinner, and we've got 3 security people, and he asked my opinion. What do you think about these 3 people? Had I not spoken to them, I would not be able to provide that feedback for him and help him assess. But it just, to me, it's really not fair to look at somebody's resume and just say, okay, that they don't have enough experience.
Right.
Let's talk to them. And if I have really good relationship with companies, you can go back to them and say, look, this person's amazing. I think you'll love them. Do they have the perfect experience? No, but I think that they're going to do extremely well.
Yeah.
You
In
know,
your
it's funny.
environment.
You said the word assess. I can't say the company name, but it's a big company. I wish I could say the name. Dang. But it's a big company, and they called me. They called me first for just some advice. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
But then I hung up, and then they called me back to hire me on because they were about to go out of business.
Okay.
So they needed marketing, but more than that, anything else, they were trying to figure out why the people that they had in place were not producing in certain areas. And just so happened, I'm a certified speaker with Dr. Eric Thomas, and I'm a DISC assessment coach.
Okay.
And DISC assessment, I was able to go into their company. It was 68 employees. And based on the personalities of each person, I literally said, this guy needs to be here. She needs to be here. He's better here based on his personality trait. This person, I don't even know if you need him at all. This
Right?
person, I don't know what this person's here for. And I literally, based on all DISC, the person who created this also created Wonder Woman
Oh.
and the lie detector test.
Wow.
So I didn't know
Wow.
about Wonder Woman, but did y'all know Wonder Woman, when she puts the rope on you,
the lasso
you
of
gotta tell the
truth?
truth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You
So I'm
did.
like, yeah, I had.
You
I'm
must
sorry.
be young.
I was a Superman guy. So we went in there. I couldn't believe. I called my mentor and I said, "What do I charge for this?" He told me what to charge. I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Trust me, they need you. If they called you, they're about to go down."
I hear you.
I charged them that. The lady said that on the other side, she said, "Hold on 1 second." She put the CEO on the phone. "Hey, we heard a great thing about you. Everything you said makes sense." I don't know what, but the guy was like, "Okay, how much?" And I told him how much. He said, "Okay, I'm gonna send you a wire in the next 24 hours."
Wow.
So they flew me in. The company, the next month and a half, because we had to cycle. I think we had to cycle 32 days to see the results based on how their stuff works. Went up 32%,
Wow.
Wow.
and we saved them from. They did let 8 people go. I felt bad about that one.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a person. I was like, yo, I don't think this person needs to be here. Like, why is he here? So we moved this person. So based on your personality, That's why you're superpower. That's why you're a superhero doing what you do, because you know what you're looking at.
I do, and I know what my clients are looking for. My different partners, I know their different environments. So you can't just submit certain people to certain jobs. They have to be able to fit in
Yeah.
with their environment. It's not just about their technical background. They've got to be. There are some people I talk to, and I'm like, there is no way this person's going to like you because you're very dry, whatever. If you need to be in the corner doing coding or whatever it may be,
That's their
but
personality. They're high C. So
but
that's a high C
but you still
personality.
need those people.
You
You
need 'em.
need those people too. But I am also a talker, and I'm very outgoing, and
You're a
I've
high I. You're a I in a disc assessment. You're a I.
yeah, I don't know what that is, but I
I
am.
remember that.
You remember that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
I think Tate
it's
took one too.
it's a personality.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, assessment. So one thing I do love of what you both just said, and I've experienced that now. Thinking back, the videos and all of that, I was just like, I didn't want to apply for those kind of jobs. But that's the purpose on why we're trying to come up with a IT career prep,
I think that's
because
great,
we
too.
prep
Yeah.
these people. Just even how to talk. I tell people straight up, look, if you're not asking questions, how do I know you're learning?
Or how to dress.
Or
in an
how to even
interview.
address. Sometimes you get these SAR situations when you go on interviews. So then that's a part of that. We kind of prep them and we drill them. We drill them hard.
Yeah.
So then by the time they get to you, they're already polished. They're ready. And then you're like, oh, okay, well, I can see you came from the Starks tree. So yeah, we can pass you over.
Period. Oh, that's so good.
Exactly.
That's
But
good.
not in addition to that, you mentioned earlier about their experience. You're talking about the person you're talking to. They had all of the skill sets, they just didn't have the experience. But that's one of the reasons why we do internships. So some of our clients, we send our students out, we send those people to get the internship. Now we bring them back to Lori. Now they've got some experience, may not be a whole lot, but based on you're coming from the tree of this Starks tree, now you've got somebody to work with. And let's face it, a lot of people, a lot of your clients, they're really looking for a personality. If you fit in with the organization, we can teach you technology, we can teach you all of this, but it's more about, do you fit in with us and our culture?
It's so much communication too, and I don't mean accents. That's not the communication. It's how you interact with teams. A lot of my, people that I place, they're not just working in Citrix, or they're not just working with network. It's across the enterprise. So it's how they interact with different teams, and there's going to be people that are a pain in the butt to work
Yeah.
for and with, and then there's some that are super easy. It's knowing how to drive projects and work with different personalities and still get people to do what you want, but still being pleasant about it.
Absolutely.
And it's very difficult because once those people get in and they start irritating people, then guess who it falls back on?
Falls back on you.
Falls right back on me. So it's good to hear how you guys are, what you're doing, the great links that Starks Consulting is doing to prepare their people, not only technically, but I had a guy that he is a senior level security guy, and he was in a hoodie in his video interview.
Got a dress.
I'm like, are you kidding me? A hoodie? You've been doing this for 20 something years. You should know better than that.
Yeah.
And had a very messy desk. And it was just, I just think that
Pay attention
having
to details.
yeah, and that says something. When I look at somebody's resume and it's all over the place, it's messy. Number one, I'm very OCD. But I look at somebody's resume, and if it's a mess, if it's not in sync, it's not like it's different on this job, and then it's formatted different on this one, or you have a bunch of typos. That's a turnoff for me. Now, I won't always say no because they're techies some of the time. But if it's a PM, I would. But a techie. But at the same time, I'm like, how much are you paying attention to what you're doing? If you're doing your resume and it looks like this, how are you going? Are you going to, dot your I's and cross your T's at work on a really important security project? If this is the way you're doing your resume. So that's some of the things I'm hearing kind of for the first time right now, just going through y'all's process. It makes companies like mine really want to work with you
Right.
and partner together because we know you're doing the due diligence up front, and that makes my job easier in the long run. But I just can't tell you. I mean, I met with Brian the other day about these contract opportunities and these bids we're doing, and I do think that when some of them happen, I think there's going to be so much opportunity for
Yeah.
people that are in his classes and that are looking, because the economy has been down and people are looking for jobs, and it has been a very slow year just in general.
Yeah.
And I really think this is going to pick
Yo,
up
listen,
and be able to help
I am
people.
so proud of Brian for getting you in here today. I told B from the very first time I heard your name. I said, "Yo, where is she?
Oh,
You
really?
gotta get her
did.
in here." How many times did I say that, bro?
Probably the last 2 months.
Oh my God, I had to overcome my fear of being on
Because-
camera.
Because listen, and you did a great job today, by the way. Y'all give it up for Lori. She did a good job.
Yeah,
Good job, good job.
Lori.
She did great.
It's a
Yeah.
little
But
nerve wracking.
it's such a when it's a period to people's question mark, because when you question an integrity of a company and you're out here saying it looks good and it sounds good and are you really getting us jobs, we can certify it, and it's certified today. But somebody that's been 20 years in the game knows exactly what she's doing. Welcoming to her, to Starks, and everything that we've got going on that we're rolling out. And together, all packaged in, you get to hire Starks for your security. You also can come through the process and learn cyber tech security. And then after you finish that, you can get hired and start your career in cyber tech. I said, bro, you put a whole bow on that and walk through the new year. We out of here.
Yep.
Get Lori up in here now.
Yeah, he did.
Welcome to the podcast. We got to have you come back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We gotta
Thank
have
you for
Mike.
being part of the
Yeah,
team.
absolutely.
And just really am grateful and thankful for this opportunity to work with you and to meet you for the first time. And Story, I had to follow him one time. He's an inspirational speaker,
Yeah.
and he is extremely good at it. And
Thank you. I appreciate that.
it's an inspiration to be around people that care about other people
Yeah.
and want to not only make money like everybody does, but help people in the process. And I'm really glad to be a part of it.
So before we get out of here, I just have one question.
Yeah.
Can we see a podcast with Ecco Select? Because based on what Mike told me, it seemed like it was brewing. Can we see Ecco Select having their own podcast?
Yeah.
Through Dream Media Agency.
What
Can we
do I
see
gotta
that?
do, Mike?
Can we see that?
Yeah, well, I will talk to Mike about it. I don't see how you could possibly want to say no.
You have
I
to,
mean,
Mike. Sorry.
It's
We'll talk about the game tickets later.
Yeah.
We'll get our name out more, and as you guys get more and more followers, I just think we can focus a little bit too on what we do in more depth. We want to make sure that everybody knows what you guys do, but we're a nice addition to the package.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
And we definitely got to give a shout out to our sister Shantae in the building.
Yeah.
I want to give her a big old shout out.
Slang.
She's made me feel so comfortable.
Yeah, got a B-Day
she's
coming up.
like,
Shout out to her.
she was looking at me, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
that sounds okay.
Good.
All
And
right.
we got a lot of people on the team and more to come for the people that's here. Shouting out to everybody that's following us. Do us a favor. You got to go ahead. Stop being stingy. There's somebody out here that needs the opportunity. All you got to do is take a link, share this podcast with somebody you love or owe the most, and it'll bring you a blessing. 2025, y'all.
2025. So,
Man.
in case, as we get ready to wrap up, come through the Starks podcast. Get your opportunity. Come through the Starks Technology Services School. Come here. Yes, I said it. Come here. Let us teach you a trade. Let us help you get certified. You have a lifelong platform that you can actually be able to solidify. Then allow us to get you over to Ecco Select with Lori Thomas to where she can get you a job, starting off, depending on the economy and the company, at $80,000 a year. Hit us up at starkstechnologyservices.com. You can call us at 1-800-316-4606 or support at starkstechnologyservices.com. Now back to you, Dream. Close us out.
Listen, guys, you heard it from the man with the plan, with the band right here, and we got the woman that it's the money lady. The money lady came to the scene. I don't know what else to tell you for your 2025 view map right now. But if you're sitting on the couch, if you're at your job, you sneaking at your job looking at this podcast right now, you're at the gym, you're looking, you've been praying, you've been trying to figure something out. You found it. You found it right here. So most definitely contact us. Always me at Dream Motivates, but right here on this podcast, DM us right now. We got you all the way out here. All the dreamers out there, man. Keep dreaming. We out of here.